Mr. Sippy, may I now request Mr. Piyush Pandey to share his thoughts on how his vertical is moving?
Yeah, I think trying to create some controversy. We're being too nice to each other. I agree with everything that's been said, but I think this is payback time for us. Payback time for the cinema industry, payback time for advertising industry, and payback time for the television industry. Because it's give me, give me, give me, give me. Give me facilities, give me this, give me that. So what are you giving back to them? Photo ops with the bureaucrats and their families. I think the cinema makers, it is my humble request, I don't know how much it's possible, have to build into their contracts with their artists. So if you have shot something in Rajasthan, the government of Rajasthan should have the right to show it on their website that Lamhe was shot here. Otherwise, where's the payback? I think it's a very narrow definition of saying cinema tourism and admitting that we are a niche tourism. We are not niche. Cinema is mass. Cinema can create the world of tourism by collaborating with the tourism industry. I think we need to go back and think about it as to what do we give back. If 100 people go and shoot in a place for 3 months, is that good enough for tourism? I don't definitely think so. How do we promote that place? If you've gone and shot in a wonderful place near Gulmarg, there should be a way for J&K tourism to say, hello, what you saw in this wonderful film was shot in Gulmarg, and they should be able to promote it. So I think cinema and advertising and television have to also think about what do we give back. We are wanting and wanting and wanting. Give me this and give me hotels and give me this. I don't think any filmmaker thinks of tourism while making a film. He's thinking of a script. And you happen to fit into a script. Then you go and say, hello, Mr. Modi, in the good old days of when he was in Gujarat, can you give me these facilities? What did you give back to Mr. Modi? I think we need to ask ourselves this question. The more we are into an equal level, the more they will give us. But are we giving enough? Is a photograph to say that Ramesh Sippy was shooting in Madhya Pradesh yesterday in a local newspaper, is that good enough for tourism? I don't think so. I think it has to be fair and square, equal deal. And the onus is on us to put up propositions which are beneficial to the government to say, hello, he's doing that much for me, I must do this much. Otherwise, 100 days shoot for 100 people is not good enough for tourism. I'm sorry. Thank you.
You may have made a correction, appreciate it, but slightly unfair. I think at the end of the film, it's not 100 people who have gone there, or 100 people who stayed there, or the 500 people extra they have employed in the area who've got something to remember. And it is also the fact when the film is released, it goes out to thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. I was 3 weeks back, I was in Turkey, sitting at a roadside cafe, having a nice meal at night, and a couple comes up to me, introduces themselves, they're very happy to meet a film personality, and they're talking away and they say, you know what? We've come to Turkey because we saw that film, Dil Dhadakne Do. And we just decided we must go there. Please do not take away that credit from the filmmaker.
A couple is a little different from a couple of thousand people that I'm talking about. I think if you have shot in Turkey, people must know it's in Turkey. Some evolved people will know it was in Turkey. Where is the connection that we are making? And I'm not accusing film. I'm trying to... No, I don't think you should. I happen to be on your side. I'm just saying that we have to think about where is the connection? Which film says that this shot was taken in place X? And I have to make connections.
I don't think there is a negative clause in any shoot of ours that says you cannot put that in your out. We should also put it out, but they, as the tourism department, can very well show the kind of films that have been shot in each place, every state, wherever things have been shot. It's very easy to.
If they can.
I think what
Mr. Jutsi to moderate,
yes,
please.
what Mr. Piyush has mentioned, and I quite agree with what he has mentioned, and it is certainly not disputing what Ramesh Seppiji is mentioning. What is required is that if suppose by virtue of your requirement you have gone to a particular destination, it is for the state governments, the tourism departments, to draw mileage of that exposure, which may be just a matter of incidents. It may be incidental. It may not be that somebody has wooed, a state government has wooed a filmmaker to his place. It may happen, but not always. Now, I can only cite one instance. I am from Rajasthan Kadra, and we would all know what mileage the city of Udaipur drew from the shooting of Octopussy. Incidentally, I joined my service and I was a probationer in Udaipur, and I very well know what mileage and what kind of the international publicity that place got just because one movie was shot. Now that is because state government, and for some reason we realized that there has been a lot of hype about it, that Udaipur and Octopussy. Even today if you go, I mean I've been to Udaipur some time back, but even today the vessel in which one of the shots were shot of James Bond, that is still floating in the Pichola Lake as a symbol of. So basically what I think both the dignitaries are mentioning the same thing. But yes, the moot point is, if like in case of Turkey as he has mentioned, I would give another instance. There was a movie Ekta Tiger and it had shots of Istanbul. Now Istanbul became a big attraction after this movie, and there have been many instances like this. So idea basically is that does the state government and the tourism department, or for that matter any agency, make use of this opportunity and mention to the people, look, this was shot. I mean, I would rather go a step forward that even those state governments should show this movie to larger number of people by way of some concessions, some incentives. You come and see, this particular movie because it was shot in our state. That would rather, bring in some kind of achievement amongst people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jutsi. I think from my perspective, I think what Mr. Pandey was mentioning, there are two separate businesses. There is the business of cinema production and there's the business of cinema tourism. So for cinema tourism, there needs a larger redemption somewhere for what has been offered. I think it's only one step progression further. It's not this versus that, it's step one, step two. So I think what Piyush is saying is step two is also important to...
Yeah, we go hand in hand, absolutely.
Into the scheme of things. So, Piyush, would you like to say something more beyond that, or is on trends in...
I think I'm saying that collaboration can make this narrow description of cinema tourism into a benefit for cinema and tourism. Because cinema tourism, as I said, the scope is smaller, whereas the impact of cinema is such that the benefit can be much, much bigger if it's a collaborative effort. That's the point I'm making.
Thank you very much. Can we